My grandfather forgot my name 2 years ago. He forgot where he was, what day it was. He called my father the tall man, and my mother the one with loud shoes. We all braced for it. Alzheimer's isn't kind. It doesn't knock on the door, it kicks it down, takes everything. At first, we tried reminding him. Photos, notes, daily routines. Then we gave up. We just tried to keep him comfortable. But every morning, at exactly 7:45 a.m., he would sit up in his creaky bed, look at the window, and whisper one name: Lena. None of us knew who that was. Not a family member, not a nurse, not a neighbor, just Lena. We asked him, "Who's Lena, Grandpa?" He'd smile, a sad drifting smile. Lena, she had the bluest eyes, like lake water right before the storm, and then he'd forget again. Forget breakfast, forget where the bathroom was, forget us, but Lena stayed. Every single day. My dad thought she was imaginary, some fragment of childhood, a nurse he once loved. I thought it was something more, so I asked the staff at the nursing home if they knew the name. Nothing. I looked through his old letters, military photos, journals, still nothing. Until one Sunday afternoon, his old box of keepsakes fell from the closet shelf. It was full of dusty Polaroids, war medals, and a folded piece of paper with faded ink. A letter. It read, "To the man who promised me one dance and gave me 1,000. You said if we ever lose each other, you'd find me in the songs. I still wait near the lake every year, just in case. Signed, Lena." There was no return address, no date, just a single pressed daisy inside. I brought it to Grandpa the next morning. His hands shook as he held it, eyes squinting, lips parted like something inside him was trying to surface. He didn't say anything for a long time. Then he whispered, "She waited?" I nodded. "I think she still does." And for the first time in 2 years, he cried. Silent tears, deep ones. That afternoon, he asked for a suit, his old navy blue one, the one that didn't quite fit anymore. And he said, "Take me to the lake." We didn't understand, but we said yes. He sat in his wheelchair by the edge of the water, breathing slow, hands clasped. Then he whispered, "Play the waltz." We played a recording from his old phone. He closed his eyes, moved his fingers, like he was holding someone's hand. He said nothing after that, just smiled, peaceful. He passed in his sleep that night. In his hand was the letter from Lena. The next week, I went to the lake alone, and on the old bench facing the water, I found a single pressed daisy. Tied to it was a note. I danced, every year, just in case. He met her in 1952. He was 24, fresh out of the army, working night shifts at the train yard, living in a rented room above a tailor's shop. She was a librarian, came in every Thursday to pick up donations from the local VFW, wore her hair in a loose braid, always smelled like old paper and lilac soap. The first time he saw her, she dropped a book. He picked it up. Their hands touched. She said, "Thank you." He forgot to breathe. They met again a week later. This time he tried to speak first. Said something stupid about the weather. She laughed, said it was charming. They walked to the lake after that, just once. He said it was his favorite place. She said she didn't like lakes, too still, too quiet. He smiled and told her, "That's exactly why I like them." She didn't argue, just looked at him for a long time. They kept meeting. Thursdays turned into Saturdays. Saturdays turned into every evening. He'd walk her home from the library. She'd leave notes in his coat pocket when he worked night shift. Once, he found a daisy pressed between 2 receipts with a note. "Still don't like lakes, but I like sitting next to you." One night, he brought a record player to the edge of the lake, played a waltz, held out his hand, just one dance. She hesitated, then placed her hand in his. They danced on the gravel. It wasn't graceful. It wasn't quiet. They laughed the whole time. Afterward, she leaned in close and whispered, "One day, if you ever forget this, I'll dance again, just in case." He didn't forget. Not then. But time passed. He was sent away for work. Letters got fewer. Calls dropped, seasons changed. When he came back, she was gone. Moved away, they said. Left no address. He asked the librarian, asked the mailman. No one knew. He never married, not really. He went through life, a job, a house, a family, but always had that record, always had that daisy. He returned to the lake once every year, alone, played the same song, watched the still water. He never said why. He just said, some promises deserve to be kept, even if no one remembers. But he remembered, even when he forgot everything else, even when his mind betrayed names, places, faces. Lena stayed, like a thread tied to the very last working part of his soul, and in his final hour, it was Lena he asked for. Not food, not medicine, just the music, the waltz by the lake. One last time. It was quiet at the lake that morning. The wind had settled, the surface of the water looked like glass. I stood where he always sat, bench facing the shore, knees pressed together, hands in pockets. I held the daisy I found last week, the one left on that bench after he passed. Tied to it was a note. I danced, every year, just in case. I didn't know what to do with that. It felt impossible, that she was real, that she waited. So I wrote back, a short note, nothing poetic, just the truth. He never forgot you, not once. Even when he forgot me, I left it there, tucked into the wooden crack of the bench, weighted it down with a stone. Didn't expect anything, but 2 days later, when I came back, it was gone, and in its place was an envelope, yellowed, addressed only with, to the one who remembered him. Inside was a letter, written in long, slanted cursive. I always knew he'd come back, even if only in spirit. Each year, I wore the same blue dress. I danced to no music, and I smiled at the water. He promised one dance. He gave me 1,000 in memory. If you're reading this, then you are part of that promise too. Thank you for carrying his voice to me, Lena. I sat with that letter for a long time, longer than I meant to. I don't know how old Lena is now, or even if she's still alive. Maybe someone else wrote it. Maybe it's all just something to hold on to. But I do know this. Some love doesn't disappear. It lingers, in lake water, in old music, in pressed flowers. And sometimes it survives inside the people left behind. People like me. I still visit the lake. Every year, I bring a daisy, I play the waltz, and just in case, I dance.